One strategy that we can use to help us estimate and find close but easier numbers is called using number lines to round. So when we round numbers, we want to take them to the closest 10. And if we look at our number grid, you'll see that the closest 10, any 10s are over here in this column that end with 0. Just like we said, these are probably the easiest numbers to work with. So we want to think which one of these numbers is the number in our problem close to. So let's take a look at 54. That's the number that we want to round. Here I have drawn an open number line for you. You'll see there's a number at the beginning, in the middle, and in the end. So let's take a look at 54. It's right here. Which 10 comes right before 54? So if I go back and I kind of use my number grid backwards, I see that 50 is the 10 that comes right before 54. So I'm going to put 50 right there on my line. Now I'm going to look back at my number grid. Here's 54 again, and find which 10 comes right after that number. So which is the biggest 10 after there? I get to 60. So I can put 60 on this line. Okay, now a lot of friends make this mistake. Do not put the number 54 in the middle here. 54 is not right in the middle of 50 and 60. If you think about it for a second, what number is halfway in between the number 50 and the number 60? It's another number that's pretty easy to work with. It ends with a 5. And if you were thinking 55, you are correct. 55 is halfway between 50 and 60. If you think back to learning about rounding before, you would say 4 and below, keep it down low. 5 and above, you give it a shove. So any number on this half of the number line is going to go keep it down low to 50. And if our number would fall on this part of the number line, we would give it a shove and we would round it up to 60. So 54, does that come before 55 or after 55? I'm going to draw a line right about here. This is where I think 54 would go. So I can label that. Oops, I'll do it this way. Okay, so 54 comes right before 55, so I think it would be about here on my number line. And I notice that it is on this left-hand side of my open number line. So that means when I round 54, I'm going to keep it and I'm going to round it to 50. That would be a close but easier number to help me estimate. Let's try another one. Let's round 168 to the nearest 10. Now remember, we're talking about the nearest 10, so we're going to want to look at this number here in the tens place. Okay, so 168, we pretend that 100's not there for a minute. 68, what two tens is it in between? Well, 68, we go backwards, we get 60, and if we go forwards, we get 70. So instead of 60 and 70, we're working with 160, and we're working with 170. And again, remember that this number is not going in the middle here. We're thinking about which number is halfway in between 160 and 170, and that number is going to end with a 5, 165. Now I'm going to draw a line where I think 168 would fall. Not before 165, it's going to come after. It's probably going to be closer around here. So I can label that. That tells me, since it is on the right-hand side of my open number line, that I'm going to round 168 up to 170. And that's going to be a much easier number for me to work with.